Hello, 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 hello. Good evening. Nice to have you all here on the Lichtman Live post show, the greatest post show that's ever existed on the face of planet Earth. But, big but, you might have noticed the title. Quote, "This may be my last post show." I see a lot of people in the chat upset about that, and I understand that. Okay, people are upset. Why? Let me explain why. President Khalidi says not enough money. I mean, that's part of it. I'll get into it. There, I would say, are like 3 or 4 main reasons why I'm thinking about not doing the post show anymore. I'm running for office, definitely not. Probably the opposite. Saying ain't so. I know I feel bad now that you guys are all upset about it. The first reason why I'm thinking, and again, this is not a final decision necessarily, but I feel fairly confident about it, unless someone can convince me otherwise. Maybe, I don't know. One, if you've been watching me, specifically me, I'm very critical and disillusioned with online political commentary. I've expressed many times that I think, generally speaking, it is doing more harm than good. And I especially think post Charlie Kirk, his death, his shooting, online political commentary has just become so toxic, and I don't really want to be a part of it. I've never really wanted to be a part of it. And again, if you've watched me, you've probably heard me express that sentiment before. But I really feel like, obviously there are exceptions to the rule. My dad, for example, on our show, I think that's an exception to the rule. He gives an academic perspective. He's one of the world's leading historians. He gives a historical perspective that nobody else does. But the general sit in front of your laptop, as I'm doing, in your office, blabbing about politics for hours on end, I feel like is hurting our nation. And I do not want to be a part of that. I don't even like politics that much. I don't have any sort of academic credentials to be talking about this, unlike my dad. And yes, often on the post show we talk about other stuff, but it seems like no matter what, it always goes back to politics. So the only thing I can offer in that arena is my dad's show, which I think, will continue and I think is good for the country. But what I'm doing here, just kind of sitting, pontificating off the top of my head about politics, is not useful. And I don't want to be part of that culture, which I find very toxic. And I find it toxic from pretty much all sides of the spectrum. Maybe make the after show about gaming and entertainment. So here's the thing: if that alone was the only reason, I'd probably keep doing it. What if you do your channel with not politics? Well, again, we'll get into that more as we keep talking about this. The second reason why the post show may be no more is that when I started doing the post show, I started doing it in Los Angeles. If you're like an OOG Lichtman Live viewer, I mean, I don't even know how many of those are still around, but like when we first started doing it, we started doing it here in DC at like, I think we started like 7 p.m. and we were done, and I could spend the rest of my night. Because I moved to Los Angeles and I was working full time, we had to move the post show to 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And people got hooked on that. And when we tried to change it to earlier, there was like a whole revolt about that, right? And it's 10 o'clock at night right now. if I do a full post show, I go till like 11:15, and it is just not. I can't sustain. I've found that I can't sustain that. It affects my sleeping patterns. It affects mostly my sleeping patterns and just my energy during the day. And if I'm up until 11 p.m. every night doing this post show, I can't fall asleep until like 3 in the morning sometimes, just because I guess, being in this environment amped up just kind of, just shoots your heart rate up and et cetera, et cetera. So a big reason is just the scheduling of the show and how late it goes and the post show. And, when I was in LA and I was doing the post show, I would start the post show at 7 p.m., right? So I'd be done by 8 and, everything was fine. Now I'm doing it till 11 p.m. It screws up my sleep. It screws up my eating patterns. It screws up my energy during the day. Yeah, it takes time for me to wind down to get to bed. Wow, thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Well, think about it like this. If people like you leave, what are we left with? More MAGA? But who am I? I mean, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I don't know. Like, again, I think the Lichtman Live is the antidote to what you're talking about. I'm not sure if the post show is. The third issue is a financial issue. Not to get into my finances too much, but I am running out of my payout in 14 days. And while I do enjoy doing YouTube, it does not pay my bills. I'm going to be honest with you guys, especially my channel. And it takes so much time and energy to stay consistent with YouTube, gain a following, and it's just becoming too financially unstable for me. So I said there was 3 or 4 reasons, right? I think those are the 3 main reasons why the post show is no longer. Now, my channel, generally speaking, I haven't been streaming much. Just do member-only streams and videos. My channel, generally speaking, I haven't really come to any solid conclusion yet. I mean, it has the same issues, especially financially, with the same as the post show. It takes a lot of time and energy to stream. You don't even make, most of the time, if you think about the hours I'm spending streaming, I don't even make minimum wage doing it. So it's just like, I need to maybe, especially as my buyout is running out, I need to get myself a little bit more financially stable, which means that I just won't have as much time to spend on YouTube, generally speaking. And I know people are like, you haven't been streaming at all. That's probably the main reason why I haven't been streaming a lot, generally speaking. No, I'm not saying I still enjoy YouTube. I still enjoy streaming. I still enjoy the community that's here and all that. So I'm not making any major decision on the YouTube channel in general. And who knows, maybe in 2 years or 3 years, my life, and I'm never say never, right? And never say never with the post show. Maybe it'll come back, et cetera, et cetera. But for now, I just don't think the post show is in the cards. I think the channel in general, you'll probably see a drop off, but I'm not making any final decision like I am on the post show with the channel in general. I think that sums it up. Julianne says, I had to stop as a creator too, Sam, for similar reasons. People consume but don't give back, and it's hard to make it sustainable for the time and energy. I think, look, I don't expect people to give back. I think for example, I don't think I've ever donated to a YouTuber. I think the bigger issue is that YouTube doesn't pay creators fairly. There's probably billions of dollars floating around the advertising space in YouTube, and same with Spotify, same with a lot of these modern tech companies. They don't support the creators as they should. That's why you see so many YouTubers have built-in ads, right? Because the AdSense from just views is horrific, you know? Maybe a new format. Yeah, and look, I still consider myself a creative person. I still have lots of things that I want to do. So it's not like I'm just going to, stop doing that, And I'm also trying to figure out what exactly I want to put my time and energy to. Maybe it's journalism. Maybe it's film more. Maybe it's acting. Maybe it's, maybe I'll pursue something academic. I don't know. But yes, maybe I'll come out with some sort of new format or, whatever you want to call it, delivery of myself. Why did I say that? That sounded weird. That sounded like Hitler. Jesus. And I know this is disappointing for a lot of people because I feel a great connection to this community. And I know a lot of people in this community feel a connection to this community too. And this community feels to me different than even the Lichtman Live community. Yeah, why did I say that? That was so weird. You should do whatever you feel like. Yeah. And, I often talk about that show I was doing for a while called World Frequency Radio, where that was a more journalistic venture, which I think I'm better at, again, and I think is more useful to the world. Again, I don't think I'm being that useful sitting here just talking about politics off the top of my head. More journalistic ventures, I think, are more valuable that I have more specialties in and I can offer. Film projects, et cetera, et cetera. And that doesn't mean I won't, express my opinion on Lichtman Live. And that's another thing. It feels like Lichtman Live feels like a better place for me to do that because I have my dad there who has the expertise, who is, this world-renowned historian. It feels less like I'm Hassan Piker or Charlie Kirk or Kyle Kus, these guys who just kind of sit there and blab about politics all day. I don't want to be that. And I've sort of already always known that. And now it's really come to fruition. Spencer says, all the best and I appreciate your work with your dad and wish you had more of a solo following. I think part of the reason why I don't have much of a solo following is my own fault because I don't have anything particular that I offer. Because I have been so hesitant to really dive into being a political commentator. If I would have done that, I probably could have gained a bunch of followers, but I just don't want to do that. And I think there are other ways I can express myself. Thank you, Tanika. This feels a lot like Stephen Colbert canceling the Late Show. Come on, it's not that bad. I like the casual nature of our hangout time. I do too. Just sad people need to be hyper toxic in politics to be popular. You have real skills to actually do good. Well, thank you. And yeah, I think that's an issue too that's a huge issue, is that you have to be hyper partisan, hyper toxic, fall into the propaganda wheel to make any sort of headway in political commentary online these days. And, it's partially the fault of the people who do it, but it's also just, you're a slave to the algorithm. You're a slave to the medium itself, and that's what the medium wants, Ruben says, I love the channel and the post show. I think you have a great personality for YouTube, but I support your decision. You got to do what's best for you. And again, I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm not saying I'm never going to be streaming, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just saying specifically the post show doesn't feel right now. Streams take no effort. I don't think you know much about streaming. It takes quite a bit of effort. Why might this be the last Lichtman Live post show? I'm not going to just continually say it over again. If you're coming in the chat late, make sure you go rewatch this and look at the beginning to see the full explanation. Quit saying the expertise thing, but you need to find your passion. This apparently isn't it. I don't know what you mean by the first part, but I agree with the second part. So this is it. It's not us. It's you. Oh man, that's rough to think about. Honolulu says, do something you love. Too many people end up unhappy careers and they feel wasted their talents. Prime Minister Bette Midler, who has the best name in this community, says it's a very honest take. I appreciate it. Well, thank you. We Are One Voice says, love this show, but you got to do what's good for you. Be true to yourself. Thank you. Dramatic Folk Freak says, post show, I understand, but still stream. Yeah, I think that's essentially what I'm expressing. Post show, not just for, political reasons, but it is also just for my own, again, it's just, like, I got to a point where I was starting to dread the post show because it was just like, I'm tired. It's 10 o'clock at night. If I want to gain any sort of like momentum on this post show, I'm gonna have to go for an hour and then it'll be 11 and then I won't, if it was purely just like I don't want to talk about politics, but I would just do it, and try to avoid talking about politics, but it's a little bit more concrete than that. And I'm not saying it's going to be gone forever, nothing. I don't want to say anything's forever, but right now it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Joe Joestar says, your charisma and humor are what make your presentation very appealing and worthy of praise. Well, thank you. You're fun to listen to, interact with, and you do better than most. Wow, thank you. So with your post-show closing, what would be the new world's greatest post-show? Oh my God, that's a great question. I don't know. Cheryl C says, you explain your reason very well, and it makes a lot of sense. We can still see you twice a week with your dad. That is true. The regular show will be still going twice a week. I'll be there. Sam can't do the post show anymore because he's focusing on his goals of basket weaving. The channel will still be here, but it will be primarily basket weaving. Exactly. Just Kendra says, I don't see how people do this for years on YouTube daily live shows. It's a grind. And like I said, you're a slave to the platform. And I think, you have to be live every day for hours upon hours, or you're just not going to gain any traction. And I think that's also where I'm also finding, it's like doing the post show twice a week is fun, and we've definitely built a cool community. But if I ever wanted to pay the bills with this or gain a real career with this, that's not even a drop of the bucket of what I'd have to do, Definitely not deleting the channel, no. And I don't know, maybe every once in a while, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll do like a, surprise post show or something like that. But it's not going to be an everyday Tuesday, Thursday thing for sure. You broke up with us on live. Oh my gosh. Time for more gaming. Focus on gaming. Maybe. I don't know. Again, I have to think about it. Think this show with your dad is too late? Yes, it's way too late. And, I've been considering maybe adjusting that. Our live viewership has really, really dropped off. And, we've explored this before about maybe doing recorded episodes rather than live. So that's also something that might be coming down the pipeline, but not sure yet. See you around election time. Yeah, maybe I'll be back around election time. Tony says, Sam, let's talk about pool tables. Tony, I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I play Fortnite and I see a pool table, I think about you. Cynthia says, maybe I'll start my own YouTube show and call it the world's second best post show. That'll be funny. Thank you, George. And thank you for that donation earlier, George. That was very generous. This feels like a few conversations I've had with girlfriends. They always crawl back. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll be back next week. No, I mean, again, I don't like to use the word never. And that's why this is titled, This May Be the Last Post Show. Because, maybe it will be, but maybe it won't be. Any chance to come back for a stream here and there for more fun stuff? Yes, definitely. Have your dad on the post show? No shot. I mean, that's the thing. Once the show's gone, that dude is done. He doesn't want to be in it for another second. It's not about the post show. We just want streams. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. You wouldn't consider a pre-show? I would consider it. Let me sit on that for a little bit. At least Sam broke up with us the right way instead of ghosting us. Oh, come on. Michelle Wilson says, we appreciate your time living in Trump country. I appreciate communicating with people who are not brainwashed. Me too. The surprise post show. There may be some surprise post shows. I think we will be covering, New Jersey and Virginia elections. Like, I'm already exhausted. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes. Like, I'm already, my eyes are starting to get bleary. And I was just like, yeah, I think that's a big factor in all this of just, I'm freaking tired right now. And, I don't think that gives you all the best product, Jojo starts with Sam, no joke, I get it. This Kirk death demonstrates how exhausting accelerationists can be. It seems like 3 months happened in the last week. For sure. Inlays, people who YouTube to make money love it, and it's a passion. If you love this, you would sleep days and timing would not be a factor. I agree with that. You gotta really love YouTube to put in the time and energy to make it work. Hey, by the way, Sam, your hair's looking great. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We were on a break. Cynthia, you're funny. Get rest and please consider a pre-show. I'll definitely start thinking about that. I mean, of course I thought about it already. The only reason why I think I've maybe not decided to do it is because it takes a little bit of prep before the show to get ready for the show. So when would I do that prep? You know what I mean? So if I'm doing a pre-show, then I have to stop the pre-show, prep, do the show. It's a little clunky. Brian Tyler Cohen works 14-hour days every single day. Would you want that? Definitely not me. Yeah, I don't think I want that. Oh, stop, George. That's too kind. George just gave a $160 donation. Sam, just do what's best for you. I've never donated to your channel. Well, thank you, because that's probably the second biggest donation I've ever gotten on this channel, so thank you. Just get on and chat. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You do always sound tired, though. I have noticed that, yeah. Or a Wednesday Sam show. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Thank you, Jack CW. And thank you, George, again, for that donation. George Politis. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Secretary of State Andrew says, what might be your last post show, just as I'm finally back in a normal schedule and can tune in. Sorry, Andrew. I knew people would be upset about it, but I didn't quite realize. I mean, I guess it's, I don't know. I didn't quite think about it. Think about it like this. The main reason the post show is ending because it birthed from me living in Los Angeles. I no longer live in Los Angeles. I don't know where I'm going to live, to be honest, moving forward. But right now I don't live in LA. And I would say that's the main reason. And yeah, maybe I'll do another day, or I'll always stream on Wednesdays. I'll figure something else out. This isn't goodbye. This is just, we're adjusting. Does that make sense? Thank you, Inlands. I appreciate that. Michelle Martinez, thank you so much. Feels like you need space. No, I don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I just need to adjust how I'm approaching my live streaming. That's all. Can we talk about something happy now? This is depressing. I'm curious to see what would people prefer? Like, I know the two main seem to be a pre-show and maybe a Wednesday just chatting show or something. Or just, are you cool with just me kind of sporadically coming on and live streaming when I have a chance? Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. And you all don't need to donate. I didn't do this to have a fundraiser here, but I appreciate that. Maybe once a week instead of 2. Wednesday would be a good idea. Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday. Tell us about your interest in filmmaking. That could be a show. It could be, yeah. Thank you, Joanne. Hey, Dad. Come on. Come on, Keeks. Since you told me not to donate, that's funny. Joanne Roberts, keep the great work on your dad. Sorry, I can't find. No, guys, you don't have to donate. You really don't. I appreciate that. All right. Thank you, Tanika. Let me do a quick poll. When would you like streams? Wednesdays. And I can do Wednesdays now. If I get a full-time job, that might change again. So this is more of a temporary solution, possibly. We'll see. Wednesdays pre-show, or just sort of pop-ins whenever I can. weekends. Somebody said weekends. Weekends are a little tough because I like to try to go out and do stuff during the weekends. Wednesdays, pre-show, pop-ins. Well, that'll be good for now. Thank you, Axel. I appreciate the donation. Pop-ins are tough, though, because they're easy to miss. Definitely. Thank you, Heather. We love you, Sam. I always watch no matter when it is. Thank you, Heather. That's so nice of you. Ruben, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you, Obsidian. Feel guilty yet? I feel so guilty. I feel extremely guilty. You'd see me doing a sports show, really. Yeah, I mean, that's part of my issue is I feel like I have so many interests. It's hard to pin down, one thing. Sam isn't the goat, he's the hedgehog. What does that mean? Oh my God, Philip, thank you. Prime Minister Bette Midler says, do whatever you gotta do, man. Whenever you're on, we'll be there if we can. That's extremely nice. And I want to express my gratitude to everybody who tunes in and watches, because without you guys, there's no point, right? Oh, the hedgehog was my spirit animal. That's right. If you'd stay out of guilt, that would be sticking around in a bad marriage. It would be a drag for everybody. That's a good point. My hair's perfect right now. Thank you. See you on Thursday, Philip. Seems like Wednesdays are in the lead right now. Okay, let me do another one. Wednesdays, but what time? Let's do another poll. What time Wednesdays? Let's say like noon, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Which one of these time slots works best? Yes, this is all Eastern Standard Time. EST. Pyrolon says, I like the post show, but also feel burnt out. I feel you, bro. The mid show with Sam Lichtman, because Hump Day show is completely different app, not available in the store, where you have fun with the audience in between the 2 days. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right now on Eastern Daylight Time. Well, you know what I mean. Eastern Time, whatever it is. Thank you, Abe. You and your dad have done a great job at keeping us all informed, and we love you two for it. No matter what, you two are amazing. We wish you nothing but success. Thank you, Abe. I appreciate that. Your show should be a different day than with your dad. Well, that would be Wednesday would solve that. If we did Wednesday, would you try starting tomorrow? No. Probably next week. %77% say 5 to 8. That seems pretty clear. Cynthia says, "Oh, it's so nice to feel all this love after such a violent week." Yeah, I'm feeling that too. It is nice. Even though it's sort of sad news, the love that's coming from this is feeling healing, you know? A 3-hour show? No, not necessarily a 3-hour show. It's just like starting in that time slot sometime. One concern I have about Wednesday is that people are primed to watch after watching the show with your dad. That's true. I agree. The show definitely gives me sort of a launch pad for sure. But also I feel like my numbers haven't really gone up in months, you know. Wednesday after 8 p.m., nah, I can't. I can't. That's just too late. Sam just signed up to do a 3-hour mega show. Let's go. That's not what I meant. I just mean starting the show sometime in that time slot. Marguerite says, "Sam, whatever you decide, make sure you're honest with yourself about what you need. That will be best for everyone. I'm not here. I'll be watching a good series." Shout out to Marguerite. Will the National Guard still be here on the 27th? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't followed if there's some sort of extension. I think the 30 days will be up by then, but I'm not even sure about that, to be honest. I have to look it up to be sure. James says, "I'm in Memphis and we're waiting to see what happens." Yeah. Secretary of State Andrew says, "I'm in D.C. right now, and the National Guard looks miserable. I've spoken to a few of them, and they hate being here." Yeah, I've seen them around town, and it's just strange. Okay, so 5 to 8 seems to be the clear winner. Wednesdays, 5 to 8. Sam, I enjoy your show because I can ask you questions even though I get told to chill, bro. Sometimes I just gotta tell you to chill, bro. Okay. I am signing off for the night. Signing off from the post show for now. But I think maybe we've got something good here with maybe a Wednesday show. So, thank you all for being a part of the post show. You are all invaluable members to this community. And don't forget, if this post show doesn't come back, remember, you've witnessed the greatest post show in the history of post shows. No one can take that away from us. See you all on Thursday. I will let you know how the Wednesday stuff comes to be. I'll post about it or something here on my channel. Thank you all. Thank you to Abe, Joanne Roberts, Sandy, Tanika, Obsidian Knight, Susan, Keep Choppin', Honolulu Water, Jabrownies, BJM, JoJo Star, Suzanne AP, Pyloron, Philip H, Marguerite, Cynthia, RV Davis, Laura, Viola, Andre, Prime Minister Bette Midler, Patrick Murray, Colidi, Mandalis, Dramatic Folk Freak, James, Kev Chatta, The Gale, Secretary of State Andrew, Sassy Cat, Siri, Gumbo. Oh, my phone said hello. Tony, Sporazic, KCTB, Ruben, oh, a Susie K song. The Susie K song's not going away, but I will give you a final post show. We'll say final post show for now. Susie K. Susie K. Everybody loves Susie K now. I gave that one my all. Tashdid, thank you. Yeah, Susie can check in and see that later. Make sure you got the notification bell on just in case I do go live at random times. But thank you all. Thank you all for being part of the greatest post show on the face of planet Earth. Thank you.